Welcome to Lingua Latina Tutorials with Mr. K, Pensvm D. This video is meant to accompany the Latina Disco or Lingua Latina College Companion texts, both available from Focus Bookstore. So let's go into the text, chapter 11, and point out the new grammar and syntax for this chapter. The first feature I want to point out is in line 4. We have duae manus et duo pedes in corpore humano sunt. There are two hands and 2 feet in the human body or on the human body. And we have a new a new form here, corpore, in corpore, which is the ablative within. And corpus, we see in the margin that corpore comes from corpus. Notice that this form, corpore, has quite a different ending from corpus. And this is a third declension neuter noun that will decline like pastor that you learned before, a third declension noun, but in the neuter, so nominative and accusative will always be the same. So when you decline corpus, nominative accusative, you have corpus, corpus, corporis, corpori, corpore. And in the plural, you see here in the margin it says it's corpora, corporum. So it'd be corpora, corpora, then corporum, corporibus, corporibus. The third declension has basically 4 forms that you need to learn. One is the regular masculine feminine like pastor, and then you have the masculine feminine I stem like ovis, and then you have the neuter third declension like corpus, and the final form that you have to learn, which you'll see at the end of this chapter, with that you've already seen it, but you haven't seen the full declension, which is mare, and that is a neuter I stem. Now the difference between corpus and mare is that mare in the ablative singular, instead of a short e like you have for corpus, corpore, you end up with a long I, mari. So if you're in the sea, it would be in mari with a long I. The second difference is that you have ium, I-U-M, in the genitive plural. So of the seas is marium, but of the bodies is corporum. So you have an I inserted here. That's why it's an I stem, or called I stem, for mare. And then the third difference is that you have ia instead of just a short a in the nominative and accusative plural. So the seas, if you say the seas are, you'd say maria sunt. But you would say corpora sunt. So notice the difference with the I stem nouns. And you'll see the full declension of mare and corpus at the end of this chapter. The next feature I want to point out is in line 41. Let's get down to 41, actually next page. And you see quintus oculus claudit atque dormit. Quintus closes his eyes and goes to sleep, and sleeps. This form here, atque, which is actually ad plus que, but it's been the sound has been assimilated here. The D has been assimilated with the Q to form a T, atque, is the same as et. And we've learned 2 other ways of saying and now. We have 3 total. We have atque, et, and we have the que in clitic, we add to the end of the noun. So, or to the end of the verb too, for que. The next feature I want to point out is in line 54, and that is in the sentence, itaque pedem aegrum habet nec ambulare, potest. And so he has a sick foot, or he has a hurt foot, nec ambulare potest, and he is not able to walk. Nec is short for neque, and neque means et non. So when you see nec, you translate it as et plus non. And often there's something separating the et and the non, as we have here. And then we had the pronoun he, and he is not able to walk. The next feature is also in the sentence, so actually in the sentence just before this, we have nidum, I'll go from the beginning, puer stultus est medice, nidum in arbore reperit, arborem ascendit, de arbore cadit. The boy is stupid, doctor. He found a nest in a tree. He climbed the tree. He fell down from the tree. So here we have arbore, which is the third declension feminine noun, and the reason we have here arbore in the ablative is that it's with the preposition de. We've seen a list before of the prepositions that take the ablative: ab, cum, de, ex in pro, sine sub praecoram, and de is on that list. So it means down from. It indicates motion away from, just like ab, ab. But here, motion away from in a downward direction. So falls down from the tree. The next feature is in the next line, where we have nec modo pede sed etiam capite aegerest. Not only is he sick or hurt with respect to his foot, pede, but also with respect to his head. So these two ablatives, notice we don't have any preposition with them, so they have special names. We have pede and capite, both ablative singular. The reason that they are ablative is they are what we call ablative of respect. It's telling you with respect to what the boy is hurt. Hurt with respect to his foot, hurt with respect to his head. Two ablatives of respect. The next feature I want to point out is in line 63. Let's go to 63. And notice we have Amelia speaking into the ear in aurem sirae, into the ear of Sira. She says, medicus puerum dormire dicit. She says, the doctor says that the boy is sleeping. This is a new feature. We've saw the beginning of this in previous chapters, but here it's going to start to be developed fully. It's called indirect speech, where the doctor says, and then we in English would say that. He says that, and then we get the accusative subject and the infinitive main verb. The doctor says that the boy is sleeping. And this feature will show up. It's incredibly common in Latin, and you're going to see many different kinds of verbs that create this feature. Here we have a verb of speaking or saying. I'll show you another one in line 108, which is a verb of, go down to line 108. Here we have Sira eum mortuum esse putat. Sira thinks that he is dead. So here we have the accusative from is, eum. Sira thinks that he, and then we have the infinitive of sum here, to be esse. She thinks that he is mortuum, dead. And so verbs of thinking, so we have verbs of speaking, verbs of thinking. Look at line 118, and you'll see, actually I'm going to go back, bottom of the page, line 118, Sira quintum vivere gaudet. Sira rejoices because, or that, Quintus is alive. So after a verb of rejoicing here, rejoices that, and we have the accusative and infinitive construction, indirect speech. And then line 128, another one, Medicus says, Iam necesse est puerum dormire. Now it is necessary that the boy go to sleep. Necesse est can take the same indirect speech construction. So the main verbs that do this, there are 8 of them that you learn in this disco, and they are videre, to see, he sees that; audire, to hear, he hears that; sentire, to feel, he feels that; ubere, to command, he commands that; dicere, to speak, he says that; putare, to think, he thinks that. Gaudera, to rejoice, she rejoices that. And necesse est, it is necessary, the impersonal verb construction, necesse est, it's necessary that. So those are your 8 main verbs that are going to trigger this accusative and infinitive construction. And you'll see others that mean basically the same thing in later chapters. The next feature I want to point out is in line 131, where Julius says, Iam filius noster non modo pede, sed etiam brachio aeger est. Julius says, now our son is sick or is hurt, not only with respect to his foot, his pede, but even his arm, but also his arm. So here we have noster, which is a possessive pronoun. It's telling who it belongs to. It's our son, filius noster. And notice in the margin, it's noster, nostra, nostrum, which means that this is going to function in the same way as your typical adjectives, like magnus aum. It's going to match the case number and gender of the noun that it's with. So now our son, filius noster, nominative, singular, masculine, just like filius, because it goes with filius. So you'll need to distinguish this from the regular personal pronouns. Personal pronouns are like I, you, he, she, it, we, you, all, and they, just like you have with verbs. Those personal pronouns do not match the noun that they go with in case number and gender. They stand on their own. So the next feature here I want to point out is also right nearby in line 132. We have brachio. And here we have that same structure we saw earlier with non modo pede sed etiam brachio aeger est. So these are ablatives of respect, pede and brachio. Sick with respect to, or hurt with respect to, the ablative. The last feature in this chapter, the last grammatical or grammar and syntax feature we have is in the line, Aemilia non putat medicum puerum aegrum sanare posse. Amelia does not think that the doctor is able to heal the sick boy. So here we have posse. Posse is a new form from the verb possum, to be able, I am able, possum, and it is the infinitive. Why is it infinitive? It is infinitive here because we have indirect speech, again, after thinking, a verb of thinking. Amelia does not think that, and then we have posse, that the doctor, subject, accusative, is able, verb, infinitive. Okay, those are that's the new grammar and syntax from chapter 11.